behold their pride, and pity the low estate of our nation, and look upon the face of those that are sanctified unto thee this day. Then they comforted Achor and praised him greatly. And Osias took him out of the assembly unto his house, and made a feast to the elders. And they called on the power of Israel all that night for help, cried to the Most High all that night for help. The next day, Holofernes, chapter 7, commanded all his army and all his people which were come to take his part, that they should remove their camp against Bethulia, to take aforehand the ascents of the hill country, and to make war against the children of Israel. He called all the people to come together to have war against us, the children of Israel. Then their strong men removed their camps in that day, and the army of the men of war was 170,000 footmen, 170,000 footmen, and 12,000 horsemen. Wow, that's 182,000, beside the baggage, and the other men that were on foot among them, a very great multitude. And they camped in the valley near unto Bethuel by the fountain, and they spread themselves in breadth over the Thyme, even to Balmeon in the length from Bethuel unto Cinnamon, which is over against Estrella. Now the children of Israel, when they saw the multitude of them, were greatly troubled, and said every one to his neighbor, now will these men lick up the face of the earth, for neither the high mountains, nor the valleys, nor the hills are able to bear their weight. It's too many of them, they say. Then every man took up his weapons of war, and when they had kindled fires upon their towers, they remained and watched all that night. Got their weapons of war and watched all night. But in the second day, Holofernes brought forth all his horsemen in the sight of the children of Israel, which were in Bethuel, and viewed the passages up to the city, and came to the fountains of their waters, and took them, and set garrisons of men of war over them, and he himself removed toward his people. Then came unto him all the chief of the children of Esau, the Edomites, the so-called Caucasian, all the chief of the children of Esau. Listen at this carefully. And all the governors of the people of Moab, and the captains of the sea coast and sailors. They said to him, let our power now hear a word, that there be not an overthrow in thine army. Say, hear us, so that your army won't be defeated by the Israelites, the children of Israel. For this people of the children of Israel do not trust in their spears. They don't trust in their spears, but in the height of the mountains wherein they dwell. They trust in how far we are up on these mountains. Because it is not easy to come up to the tops of their mountains. It ain't easy to come up to the top of the mountains. Now therefore, my power, fight not against them in battle array. And there shall not so much as one man of thy people perish. So I said, these nations are against us. Remain in thy camp, and keep all the men of thine army. So just remain still, and you're going to keep all the men of their army. And let thy servants get into their hands the fountain of water, which issueth forth of the foot of the mountain. We had the water was at the bottom of the mountain that supplied the water for us that was on top of the water. For all the inhabitants of Bethuel have their water thence. That's where they have their water. They get their water from. So shall thirst kill them, and they shall give up their city. And we and our people shall go up to the tops of the mountains that are near, and will camp upon them to watch that none go out of that city, of the city. So he cut off their water supply. That's what you tell them. Esau and Moab and Ammon always hung together. But you see what they tell him. He ready to go to war and be defeated. Here come Esau and telling them, hey, cut off the water supply. Then they'll die. And you have to lose a man. So they and their wives and their children shall be consumed with famine. And before the sword come against them, they shall be overthrown in the streets where they dwell. Thus shalt thou render them an evil reward, because they rebelled and met not thy person peacefully. And these words pleased Holofernes and all his servants, and he appointed to do as they had spoken. So the camp of the children of Ammon departed, and with them 5,000 of the Assyrians, and they pitched in the valley, and took the waters and the fountains of the waters of the children of Israel. They stopped from being able to come down to get the water. Then the children of Esau went up with the children of Ammon and camped in the hill country over against Dothan. And they sent some of them toward the south and toward the east over against Echribel, which is near unto Shusi, that is upon the brook Moshmer. And the rest of the army of the Assyrians camped in the plain and covered the face of the whole land. And their tents and carriages were pitched to a very great multitude. Then the children of Israel cried unto the Most High their power, because their heart failed. For all their enemies had compassed them round about, they surrounded them, and there was no way to escape out from among them. Thus all the company of Ashur remained about them, both their footmen, chariots, and horsemen, 44 days. 44 days. So that all their vessels of water failed, all the inhabitants of the dew. And the cisterns were empty, and they had not water to drink. They were filled for one day. They didn't have enough water for one day. Well, they gave them drink by measure, a little bit at a time. Therefore their young children were out of heart, and their women and young men fainted for thirst, and fell down in the streets of the city, and by the passages of the gates. There was no longer any strength in them. And all the people assembled to Osias and to the chief of the city, both young men and women and children, and cried with a loud voice and said before all the elders, so the elders were at the gates, Most High be judge between us and you, for ye have done us great injury, in that ye have not required peace of the children of Ashur. For now we have no help, but the Most High have sold us into their hands, that we should be thrown down before them with thirst and great destruction. Now therefore call them unto you, and deliver the whole city for a spoil to the people of Holofernes, and to all his army. For it is better for us to be made a spoil unto them than to die for thirst. For we will be his servants, that our souls may live, and not see the death of our infants before our eyes, nor our wives, nor our children to die. We take the witness against you, the heaven and the earth, in our power, the power of our fathers, which punishes us according to our sins and the sins of our fathers, that he do not according as we have said this day. Then there was great weeping with one consent in the midst of the assembly. They started crying. And they cried unto the Most High power with a loud voice. Then said Osias to them, Brethren, be of good courage. Let us yet endure 5 days, in the which space the Most High our power may turn his mercy toward us. For he will not forsake us utterly. And if these days pass, and there come no help unto us, I will do according to your word. He said, give us 5 days, man. If it don't happen, Most High don't deliver us, I'll do according to your word. And he dispersed the people everyone to his own charge. And he dispersed the people, every one to his own charge. And they went unto the walls and the towers of their city, and sent the women and children into their houses. And they were very low brought in the city. So this is the story of Judah. Since you that are on here only have 10 minutes left, I'll get to the point. Judah 9th chapter. And Judah fell upon her face and put ashes upon her head and uncovered the sackcloth wherewith she was clothed. And about the time that the incense of the evening was offered in Jerusalem in the house of the Most High, Judah cried with a loud voice and said, O Most High power of our father Simeon, to whom thou gavest a sword to take vengeance to the strangers, who loosed the girdle of a maid to defile her, our sister Dinah. They raped her. He raped her, one of them, and discovered the thigh to her shame, and polluted her virginity to her reproach, to her disgrace. But thou said, it shall not be so. And yet they did so. Wherefore thou gavest their rulers to be slain, so that they dyed their bed in blood, being deceived, and smote the servants with their lords, and the lords upon their thrones, and hath given their wives for a prey, and their daughters to be captives, and all their spoils to be divided among their dear children, which were moved with thy zeal, and abhorred the pollution of their blood, and called upon thee for aid, O Most High, with my power. Bear me also a widow. Hear me also a widow, Salah. And in the end, Judah took the head of our enemy. So beautiful. So I'm at the end right now, but you can continue to read on these chapters. You'll see about Judah, how this great general was taken down, and we got the victory over our enemies. Hallelujah. Most High power.